Hello there everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. My name is Emily as always. Today we are going to be landing at Newcastle with Emirates 35 inbound from Dubai. This isn't the aircraft Emirates use anymore, but this is the aircraft the route started on. It then went to a 777-300 and is more recently been operated by an A330. I'm going to hop into the cockpit and start prepping our arrival. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The reason that says Echo Golf November Victor, which is T-side, is I had to actually reload the flight because my sim crashed. But we're just going to do the arrival here, and we're still going to enjoy that. So, let's just start prepping our arrival. Oh, it's saying it wants me to descend. Can do. Let's do that. So that's how the aircraft going to fly the managed route down to 2,500 feet at managed speeds. So we'll do a performance. We'll quickly do our approach prep, which is 1009. Temperature of 21. Current surface winds are 1707. at 7. So we've got a slight tailwind component on landing. Sorry, it's a headwind component just about. And we'll commit at 500 feet, even though that's not where the ILS cuts us out. Approach speed is 134 knots. We'll probably land about 140 because I think I've not got the loading quite right since I've reloaded. Other than that, like I say, we're descending at 2,500 feet. I've already told the aircraft we're doing the ILS-25. There wasn't anything to consider in terms of stars and stuff for this flight, owing to the fact that we basically are arriving from an angle where very few flights arrive from, so there's no stars for us. Because all the stars into Newcastle are from the south, because most of Newcastle's traffic is either flights from the continent or obviously like holiday flights from the Canaries and stuff like that. And even this would normally approach from the south, but I think due to the current situation in Iran and Ukraine, it sort of reroutes us. A little bit. So it's just a bit of a different approach path, even for me, which is quite nice, because I'm used to sort of being very much used to the approach line that we take to get here. But I'm going to reset my brakes to medium. I'm going to put my speed brakes to armed, flaps away. Everything else is set, and because it's a short field, also a small airport at Newcastle, and I'm going to be doing my own little bit of aviating. Sorry, I'm going to be doing my own flying in. That stays on, everything else is set. So I'll just turn the APU on, like I said, because basically I won't have time to do it when I land without having issues. So we'll just go into flight planning just to show where we are. So we sort of arced our way up from Dubai, so we left Dubai, sort of up the left side of the Persian Gulf, through Iraq, avoiding the top of Syria, because that's still problematic, left over Turkey, through Romania, up to up here pretty much, and then across to Betham, which is been our last waypoint, and then we're descending for Newcastle, and you can see Newcastle here. And the plan is for us to do a sort of vacate, I believe it's Charlie, I'm going to say, and basically stick it in onto this stand here. So as you can see, it's a very short taxi in, so I'm trying to sort myself out in that regard. Other than that, I'll show you so home for me for a solid 20 years of my life, 15 years of my life, was right there. So when aircraft was circling from the north, just through here, you literally come right over my house. The EasyJet flight from Belfast was one of my I would see that most nights. So we're descending, like say, through 8,000 feet. Centre fix 25 is the next waypoint. We're getting a really good headwind component. We've had that all the way. That's why we're not having to use any air brakes for the approach. I do love the A330. It's not an exciting aircraft at all, but it is wonderfully capable. Seven 7,000 feet. We're a little bit slow, but that's just because the aircraft's trying to descend slower. But yeah, it's fine, basically. What I'll do actually is I will put on my ILS page. That's not good. There you go. So we are pretty much aligned on the center line for the runway. Just awaiting the ILS path to come in. Well, that suggests we're aligned, but I don't think we are. Interesting, it's just not... I don't know if we're just slightly out of range. We are supposed to 20-mile final still, so... Still probably somewhat out of range for the ILS to be picked up. Otherwise, I'm going to be getting... Oh, no, there you go. It's picked it up now. Everything's kicked on. So you can now just go to ILS page, and everything loads up about right. However, that course is wrong, because I'm not landing from that direction. Okay, if I just force it to accept that, would that work? Nope. No, there you go. It's finally picked it up. So it's picking up some disturbance, I guess, on the ILS, is all I can assume. But we'll just leave it in arc mode for now and continue our descent using GPS guidance. What I'll actually do is, just for simplicity here, and I want to go selected speed, which is 250 knots, and then we'll just do an open descent, not descent profile. Just going to idle the throttle and just put my nose down. We'll get a bit lower, but we're basically just getting a little bit quicker. It's 1009 hectopascals. It's been a lovely day. It was a lovely day in Newcastle today. So after I took off, because obviously this sim doesn't have a fast forward feature, I went for to get my hair cut first time in 8 years, and ended up walking back from the hairdresser because I was like, "There's no rush." I know there's no rush because it's not that much. Yeah, because it would have been about sort of 4 p.m. Well, yeah, about 4 p.m. landing, and my hair appointment was at 10:15. And ladies' hairdressing doesn't take that long. So I went and got my got myself sorted. So at 2,500 feet, coming up to the coast. So, like I say, when you've seen me land in Newcastle previously, we've sort of flown broadly up the coast, because that's Newcastle there by the looks of things. We sort of turning in land. Whereas today we're just going pretty much straight in. So 2,500 feet, and I put the speed back to 210 knots. Back into idle for that. And we've just got a flaps 2 for the start the centre of the approach here. So in a 15 mile final now, so getting slowed down quite nicely. So you don't want to go hammering in too much. Just get a flap 1. Now, of course, it's an Airbus, so flap 1 on takeoff is flap 1, and so it's slat and flap. On landing, it's slat alone. So that's just something to remember. Going over the wind farm here. I'll arm approach mode. I think it wants us to go down to 2,000, which I can absolutely do. Altstar sets capturing altitude, 2,000 feet, so we approach the coast. So that there is Blythe, the town with no nice bits. For legal reasons, that's a joke. And Bedlington, the town I showed you on the map, is sort of roughly in that area there. No, that's Cramlington. So Bedlington's over that way. That's the aluminium dock. So for those of you who watch my train sim videos, will know there's a service that runs from Alcan in runs from North Blythe, which is that, to Fort William. I'm just going to give 160 in because I'm going to be starting the approach path quite soon. There we go, just get 160 knots. Nice and slowed off. Maybe a bit early, but do 170 just to keep some sort of energy in the aircraft. Actually, we'll go 180. No. So we'll just give it tink. I'm not going to go to flap 3 yet because the aircraft will just shout at me about the... There we go. So localizer starred. You can see the airfield ahead of us, so we can basically commit to the approach at this point because we know we're safe to land. I'm actually going to just put us to 140 now for landing speed. Landing gear comes down. Flaps to full. You can see the pitch really changes as you're approaching this thing. These land with quite a bit of alpha on. I'm basically going to let it take over the descent, and at about 500 feet on the radar, so about 1900 feet right now, about 500 feet I'll take over and land. So there you go, coming down the approach path. Stood in that park and watched aeroplanes land. They look way closer than that park looks to us right now. That's Cramlington. So one of my favourite things you could see from here, it's beyond the LOD range ever so slightly, but that area there is my I think it's area there, possibly slightly further back, is my high school from when I was growing up. And I remember literally leaving lessons one day, cabin check, come on cabin crew, I'm not going around, I'm landing. If you're not ready, I'm landing. got a little bit of a wind, so the wind's not as it was predicted, because it's 231 at 20 knots. But so I'm glad I kept that high speed on. The sim has been behaving a bit weirdly today, and that's obviously Newcastle to the south. Emily has control. The nose dropped there, which it really shouldn't have. This was behaving like a real Airbus. So our ground speed's about 120 knots, so I'm looking for a 600 feet per minute rate of descent to keep us on profile. Got Pappies are 2 whites, 2 reds, so I'm really happy with how that's presenting. Just chasing that descent rate. Still can't get over that this is a home sim, and this is pretty well. Okay, the airfield scenery isn't default, but the scenery around it is, and that's pretty incredible. Bit low, bit low, bit low. I'm going to get a camera pointed at my hand, just so you can see how much my hand's actually moving. I'm going to land pretty perfectly, actually. Okay, maybe I'm not. So the airfield kick comes up to meet me. 14 knots straight down the runway. No EGPWS today. Hand reaches over. No thingy today, apparently. No reverser. There you go. I think GSX is boned. Oh no, we're fine. It's actually Swissport last I looked, or Newcastle Airport Ground Handling, I can't remember, but yeah. We'll taxi in park. So, yeah, this is Newcastle. I absolutely love this scenery. It's a very good scenery. Just do my after landing stuff here. So, landing lights. I'm going to turn my taxi lights off because I'm literally going to be entering the apron momentarily. Strobes off. I'm just going to prepare the aircraft for arrival now, both the crew. And so yeah, the tyres are going to be extremely hot after that. There you go. So we're going to head into Newcastle to the hotel for our crew rest now. I'm going to be ending the video, but thank you for watching. Like I say, the video's obviously not over yet. We need to park up. But everyone tunes out at this point because they've seen the exciting bit. So that's 3-0 there. Certainly looks like. I can remember if the left alignment or the right alignment was 3-0. I swear there is a safe dock here, but alas. To you. To you. You're really ineffective, aren't you? My word. You got an external camera here. Stop. Stop. My God. Right, GSX. Oh, I've just noticed that that texture effect there for the where coffee cups been stood. That's really cool. Thank you for that information. Service. Just walk me there because the aircraft moved. That was fucking brilliant parking based off the information you gave me. Right. GSX disembarkation, please. There we go. So the air bridge is attaching. The high loaders are coming out to offload our cargo, and there's the steps are coming as well for in case we need to evacuate. There you have it. I've really enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys have too. Like I say, very good little video. Very good little flight, sorry. Like I say, the A330, it's not an exciting aircraft by any stretch of the imagination, but I suppose you don't want an airliner to be exciting. If an airliner is exciting, that's bad. But I've really enjoyed that little flight. Like I say, it's such a classic look as the A330 now. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed making it. Until next time though, guys, it's going to be bye for now.
Passengers deboarding started. Do you want to deboard crew? Catering vehicles are on their way.